This is fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
We're having a good time. Welcome to Intelligentsia Cup Day 2. This is tour of Lake Ellyn. It's a circuit around, well, a crit race around a little longer around this lake. Pretty technical, and it started raining right as we got there, so the roads are nice and slick and covered in paint. The start-finish here on the left goes into a tight left-right chicane, and then we wind up a hill, which is where I crashed, and you just saw me getting put back into the race after my crash. We go through a roundabout, which you just saw. You can jump over the inside or go around the outside. There really isn't much of an advantage to either one, except for how it sets you up for the next corner. And then we wind along this road into a U-turn, kind of a sharp left-left. Pretty much just have to lace them together like it's one turn. There is a lot of paint on these courses, and we're going in and out of them, but where I actually crashed was just on an uphill in a straight line, and I just lost the bike out from under me, so the paint is very slick. Don't want to be doing any braking or turning on them because you're asking a lot of your tires and of the pavement. So you can see here somebody figured out the same thing that I did, in that there's a little bit of a speed limit on these turns. This turn was maybe one of the less technical ones where there wasn't as much paint crossing it, but on that outside there is, I think, a bump, and if you lose it or if you pedal too far into it, you can get yourself in trouble. This is the first turn, which is covered in paint. That guy took it real fast, and I was pretty surprised to see him make it out. You just don't want to be doing any turning over those yellow lines, which everybody seemed to have the line pretty figured out, but every once in a while, especially early on, people would just slide out on those. Coming up this hill after the finish, and that's where a lot of moves would go, but early on in the race, the guys who got a call up, just like 9 guys, they were the ones that made it immediately. So the break went from the gun, and nobody could really catch up to them. But luckily, we had 2 guys in that break with Ethan Crane and Hugo Scala, who are both great finishers, so we were not too concerned about that. Me and Sam could just kind of sit in for this day as much as you can on this technical, demanding course, and go for the remaining places. Try and keep safe, although I failed on that little adventure. And here we come into the last lap. Iman Lucas is just taking a flyer, and Kaylor Marshall here in the blue is pulling him back, kind of leaving a gap just so I know that Kaylor can make it through the turns at these speeds. He's going a little faster than we have been, so just want to judge my speed off his at the cost of some drafting. But we come through this last lap, and I'm in second wheel, which is a little farther forward than I was expecting to be, but I do have to hope that he's just going to pull for the whole last lap. He doesn't have a huge kick, and neither did I this day. So his best bet was pretty much just to drop as many guys as he could, keep it strung out and hard, and he did that. So I'm just hanging on his wheel as much as I can. It's really hard here. He's going full gas for this lap. But in the finish up the road, the break had about 40 seconds, and it ended up being a sprint, and I think a UNC like Lotto Max Sky won, although I might be wrong there. Robin Carpenter was in the leader's jersey, and he got top 5 or something like that, so he maintained his lead. And then my teammate Hugo got 5th, and Ethan, my other teammate, got 2nd. So we did pretty well up the road, but now we're going for minor placings back here. The winner of this group sprint is going to get 10th, and I'm hoping to get as many points as I can. Our mission into this race was pretty much just to be represented in moves back when we thought it was dry, which looked kind of like racing off the front, just because a breakaway is quite possible on this course. Here we're coming into the finish, and I kind of get swarmed by Fergus and Hayden here, and then we kick out of the final corner. I didn't have much of a kick either, and these guys are hitting it real hard. And I ended up coming across the line for 13th, come past Kaler here. So 2 days in a row, getting 13th with number 13 on my back is all right. And the boys got a good podium picture with Ethan. So going into the next day, we'll be fourth or fifth overall with Hugo, and then ninth with Ethan, and I'm sitting 12th. So we've got some good positions into a pretty non-technical fast 4-corner crit. So that's going to be raced a little differently, a little bit more argy-bargy, and probably not a breakaway tomorrow, but it should be fun. See ya.